What up, YouTube? Before we start the video, we got a very important announcement for you.
That's right, we have our new milestone giveaway for 2,000 subscribers. That is a CGC 9.8 graded Thor #1. This cover is a Nick Klein sketch variant that is also signed by Donny Cates.
What? Are you crazy? Yes, we are. When we hit 2,000 subs, we're giving away this bad boy. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like. It would be much appreciated because we want to give this away, but we only can do that when we hit 2,000 subs. Let's get to the video. What up, YouTube? I'm Jim.
I'm Nate.
We are Two Fat Guys Poolist, and we've got another fresh new comic book day video for you for the week of October 23rd. And it also is a fat old pool like last week. It's
big boy.
Thick. First up, we're going to kick it off with Image with The Moon is Following Us, issue #2 from Daniel Warren Johnson and Riley Ramos, or Rosmo, not Ramos, Rosmo.
Yes, Rosmo.
I know you haven't read issue 1. You're doing some catch up, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. It's really cool. I like the twist. I won't give away much here, but I'm sure we'll get more revelations in this book, and I'm pretty excited for it. This is it's Daniel Warren Johnson. You know what I mean? It's so good. I do like the artist. I know the artist was on that Harley Quinn run that I really enjoyed, and a lot of people bitched about the artwork. I think
Terrible opinion.
The parallels between Riley's work and Daniel's work are very evident, and I love it. Again, I can't give too much away because you haven't read it yet, but
Sorry.
it's good. It's really good, and I cannot wait to read it. And I'm gonna go ahead and say a potential pick of the week, like right off the bat. Like
Nice.
Swinging.
I mean, this is like a powerhouse creative team in my opinion, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
Hundo. Yep. All right, next up we have The Power Fantasy, issue #3 from Karen Gillan. I don't know if you're reading this or if you're going to read it.
I hadn't planned on it, but convince me.
It's fun. We're dealing with these humans or beings that essentially have a nuclear arsenal's worth of energy stored up inside of them. So they're basically superheroes.
Okay.
But they aren't really superheroes. They're just these super powered beings that essentially, like, you don't want to fuck with them. You don't want to piss them off. You also don't want them to butt heads with each other because they could just end the world. And in the first issue, we had, some very big things happen where essentially these beings are kind of living together, and we have some that aren't and are trying to find a balance between, not ending the world and staying neutral. And it's hard to kind of explain, but I'll just say this. The first issue, we had the US government essentially attack these individuals that were living together.
Sounds like the US government.
And for compensation, they wanted everyone involved with that decision to die. So this one particular individual, I can't remember his name, essentially says, all right, I'll do it. And he does it so that he'd save the world. So he ends up killing like the president, the Department of Defense, the whole thing, all so that the world doesn't end. And that's kind of where the stakes lie in this book. It's pretty crazy. It's Karen Gillan. It's written very well. I think the hooks are all there every time I've read the book. I'm definitely in on it. I haven't dropped off of it yet.
Yep.
It's a very interesting book. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, if I have time, I'm gonna have to catch up.
I think you'd like it. I think you would. All right, next up from Michael Walsh, we have Frankenstein, issue #3, The Bride of Frankenstein. That's where we're headed next, or The Heart. The crazy book. Like, it's a classic, right? It's a classic with a Mike Walsh twist. It's not a silver coin. It's not that, but I think it's...
Don't get me started.
Yeah. It's not that, but I would say there are parts of it that feel like Michael Walsh. But to its core, it's a Frankenstein book. So if you're looking to be silver coined, this ain't it. But if you're looking for a different, a classic take with a little bit of a hip twist in Michael Walsh, then I think this book's for you.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm one issue behind, but like, I will most certainly. This is probably the first thing I'll catch up on.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna see it and go like, this is what I'm I'm looking for. Like, I mean, it's not silver coin. Like, it's just not.
Yeah, it's not.
But
But this whole Universal Monsters experiment has been good so far.
yeah, and you're the one that started it. So, I mean, in the sense of reading it on the show,
Right.
like, so
When you
I
put
just hope,
Tinian's name on something, I'm going to buy it. I don't care if it's
right.
Barbie ballerina unicorn princess. I'm buying that shit.
I literally jumped on it because it was Michael Walsh, so I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm checking it out. So,
Yeah.
All right. After that, we have Void Rivals issue number 13 from Robert Kirkman. You know, Void Rivals is doing some shit. Like, it's definitely moving. It's definitely moving the plot. It's way more invested within its own obvious universe and the Transformers, which I love.
Mhm.
We haven't seen a hint of G.I. Joe, which I don't think we will. Maybe, I mean, you would assume we would.
Eventually.
But we just haven't. And I'm not upset about it. Like, I'm not like, whatever. Like, if it happened, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's surprising. Like, oh, if anything, it's surprising that it actually happened. It's rather than like it happening at all.
Right.
So we've got this new bounty hunter, if you will, coming after our duo. The duo's potentially splitting, but it may not happen. It's the political, intergalactical political discourse that we're dealing with the book is definitely heating up. So, and I also, yeah, that's right. Unicron was definitely foreshadowed in the book, which essentially it's the planet-eating transformer that looks like is the void, right? The two species, one of them, like, that's their ultimate goal, is to be sacrificed. So we're getting there. Like, we're connecting the dots with these different lores, which I'm definitely digging. So definitely a slow burn, not a problem here. Digging Void Rivals, still haven't said, you know what, I'm done. Like, this is still definitely a strong pull.
Yeah, it's still a good time. I mean, and it's very slowly incorporating some of the other Energon stuff. Like, this character's I believe a new character, but like still she's from Cobra-La, right? Which is G.I. Joe. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
it's something. It's something.
Okay.
And
All
then
right.
I think the next issue after that, we've got a Hot Rod on the cover, I think is who that is.
Oh, Hot Rod?
I I think so.
Let me see.
It's not the next issue, it's the issue after that. So the December issue.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
definitely Hot Rod. Like, that is most definitely Hot Rod. Oh, that's got me very interested. Ooh, all right, okay. All right, now you're cooking. Now we're cooking.
So it's coming, but you're right. Slow but steady. It's been a good track so far.
I think it should be that way. Like, if it were rushed, I'd probably get frustrated. Like, let's have fun. Slow down.
Agreed.
All right. Jumping over to DC, we're going to kick it off with Absolute Wonder Woman, issue number 1 from Kelly Thompson. I am so looking forward to this book, especially with our gripe with the current Wonder Woman book and it not really being written in her perspective and in her voice. I think Kelly Thompson's going to fucking kill it. Like, I remember the preview in DC All In was really fun. It got me jazzed. I think all of the Absolute previews in DC All In were, it got me going, and Wonder Woman definitely looks like it's gonna really slap.
This creative team is exciting for me. Obviously Kelly Thompson, but Hayden Sherman too, and Jordi Belair on the colors. Like, anytime Jordi's on the book, I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit extra there. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready for a change of pace here. Another take on Wonder Woman. Let's see how this one goes.
And then, like we said before, like, we want Absolute to be given the opportunity to breathe, find its legs, and just do its thing. And here's to crossing our fingers that that's the case, and that we don't just jump the gun and immediately incorporate these new versions of these heroes in some fucking crisis event. Just let it be, as the Beatles would say.
Also, that Jim Lee cover C with the fucking sword that's as big as her. Pretty dope.
Let me. Oh shit! Is this the?
I gotta look at the extra covers.
Oh my gosh, Ermagerd. That's pretty cool. I also like this one.
Yeah, that one's cool too.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun. All right, we've got our last issue of Green Arrow from Joshua Williamson, issue number 17, or Legacy 350. So it's a big, thick old boy.
Oh god.
Green Arrow started off strong. Joshua Williamson's Green Arrow started off strong, and then, of course, all the DC events started fucking bogging it down, and suddenly Green Arrow is a traitor to the JSL, and I don't know. Like I'm or JLA.
JLA.
Whatever. It remains to be seen. I'm going to read it. Don't know if I'm going to be happy with it. I'm sure it'll end very rushed, like all DC books have been lately. And I don't know if I'm going to be picking up the next issue with a new writer. I think it's Dan Waters or
It's Chris Condon.
Chris Condon.
I actually will be picking up the next issue because of the creative team.
Okay.
So it's Chris Condon who has done This Texas Blood and the Anfield Gang Massacre.
Okay.
And then the artist is Montos. That was the artist that was on the John Stewart book that just wrapped up. Really good art. Really good art. So
okay.
The John Stewart War Journal, the one that I feel like Kenny Johnson was doing.
You may have to convince me, or I might be a day of pickup. But as my hopes are not high for this issue. I just like whatever.
Oh, not this issue, no.
Yeah, absolutely not. All right, next up, we have an Elseworlds story, and that is Green Lantern Dark from DC, the Elseworld line. This, I'll be quite frank, is the only Elseworld book I will be reading. All the other Infinite Batman Elseworld stories I am not interested in. But I'm going to give this a shot. It looks interesting. You know, we're dealing with magic. That sounds dope. I like Green Lantern. Green Lantern is one of my favorite heroes, or like concepts of a hero in the DC lore. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for this.
I'm chomping at the bit for this book. Like I am so excited. Like DC finally, it seems so obvious, and maybe it was finally, but like take some of the creative teams from the most fucking successful independent series now that we've got multiple books going on, but like Something is Killing the Children and House of Slaughter at some point is doing better than a lot of DC books as an indie. Right. That's crazy. And so, yeah, get the guy that writes House of Slaughter, get the guy that does the art for Something is Killing the Children, tell the Green Lantern horror story. I'm throwing money at this. Like, the from what I understand, this is like a post-apocalyptic Earth overrun by monsters. Solomon Grundy has like an undead army. Totally about it.
Well, again, it goes back to do something fresh, do something new, and let it breathe. If you can do that, DC, you're doing great. But it's when you start fucking fiddling around and making these people interact with each other is where it gets all wonky. So
yeah, just let them be their own thing.
And don't do an event after 3 issues or 6 issues. Just let it fucking be, okay?
There's gonna be an event.
Yeah, you're right. All right, after that, we've got Nightwing issue 119 with a new creative team. We just had a Nightwing book last week, and we've got Dan Waters and Dexter Soy on the creative. I'm gonna check it out. I don't know for how long. I will say I think because of how Tom Taylor's run ended, there won't be this lingering. It's not as good as the last run. I think I feel kind of burned from the last run and how like quickly it ended and how sloppy it was. So like, I think this book has a good chance of potentially doing really well and sticking into my pool. But that's not to say that it can't not do the legwork. Like it has to work for my vote. Like,
yeah, I totally agree. Dan Waters has done some stuff that has been okay, and some stuff that has been pretty impressive. Like he did the Azrael series that you really enjoyed.
Right.
He did some backups in Detective that I thought were just phenomenal.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see what he can do. Dexter Soy, I'm actually not very familiar with. I'm looking him up, and he's done a lot of fill-in stuff, but mainly known for a run of Suicide Squad, a run of Red Hood and the Outlaws, some Deathstroke. Nothing too crazy, but this might be his chance to finally shine. Yeah.
Right on. Hey, I'm interrupting the video. It's only because I've got something really important to tell you. I know you know what we're giving away when we hit 2,000 subscribers. I gotta let you know about what we're giving away when we hit 1,250 subscribers. We're giving away this Uncanny X-Men #1 signed by Jim Chung, CGC grade 9.8. When we hit 1,250 subscribers, you could potentially win this, but you have to be subscribed to our channel. So hit that sub button, ring that bell, give us a like. Let's get back to the video, shall we? All right, jumping over to Marvel, we've got the Avengers issue number 19, and it looks like Doom is finally showing himself after Blood Hunt and really stepping up his game. And you know, New York Comic Con has just happened, and there's been a lot of announcements with Doom really taking over the Marvel universe, which I'm excited for that. Like, I'm actually like, that sounds dope. Like, let's do it. Now, obviously, like, there is some connectivity, some cohesiveness when it comes to Marvel and what they've currently announced with Doom coming into the MCU, or a variant of Doom. I think we're all pretty positive that the Robert Downey Jr. version of Doom is probably not the main Doom. It's going to be some kind of alternate Doom, or at least that's the assumption. And so I am not at all surprised that Doom is making a run in Marvel Comics, and probably for a while now, especially with, you know, getting ready for launches of new movies and series and all that. So, you know, looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, anything with Doom, and then you throw in Storm as well, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, some of the characters I really enjoy. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good time. This is where McKay is actually cooking. Over on Avengers, Moon Knight, probably even as Doctor Strange, X-Men. But we'll get there.
We're barely at a simmer over there.
Next up, we have Dazzler issue number 2. Issue 1 was really cool. It looks like we're going on tour. We're hitting different shows. We're dealing with different threats. This is my silly goose time book. I like the concept of Dazzler. I think this is also another hint at the, you know, overall movement of what comics are going to be doing and what we're doing in the MCU. I would not be surprised if Dazzler shows up at some point within the MCU, and I think it would be great. And as long as it's Taylor Swift, I think we're good. I think everyone will be happy, right?
Everyone will be happy. That would be pretty dope. But I know a lot of people that would be upset about it. But that would make me more happy about it.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that would be upset about it, I want to be upset.
Anyway, Dazzler's been fun. Again, to me, it's an X book. It's one of these X books that are just kind of just here and just enjoy it. Don't overthink it. Don't look for hidden meanings and how does this fit with everything. No, it's just a fun book with a character that's getting some limelight. I like it. Yep. All right, after that, we have The Incredible Hulk, issue number 18 from Philip Kennedy Johnson, and Nick Klein's back on the book.
Oh, hey.
Our last issue, it looked like Bruce was going to get rid of, finally, the Hulk. Is that really going to happen? I don't think so.
No, of course not.
But he may have to do it to bring this girl back. I don't know. You know, we had issues prior that were, you know, these kind of history lessons, and I'm like, okay, I get it, whatever, like, get back to this story. And so I'm hoping that we're no longer doing 2 issues on, 3 issues history, 2 issues on, 3 issues history. Like, let's move forward, and hopefully that's the case here. Having Nick Klein on the book, that's got me super stoked.
Yeah, for this one issue, and then not again for another.
Then that probably means we're having another history issue, because whenever he jumps off the book, that's when we're like, oh, let's go back in time and look at the prehistoric Hulk. Like,
yeah. Well, the issue after this is issue 800, so it's the big 799 double. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different writers, 4 different artists. You know, that mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got Danny Earls back on the book, who I like, but you're not such a fan of.
I mean,
he did the New Orleans art.
Oh yeah, this book may not last longer. May not last that long. Like, I know that probably pisses off some people like Joe and John, but like,
don't worry, it'll still be here if as long as Philip Kennedy Johnson's on the book, I ain't going nowhere, no matter what.
Bring it back, Donny Cates. All right. All right, next up, our last book of the night is X-Men issue number 6 from McKay and Diaz on the art.
Oh.
Okay. So, like, the story, I feel like, is progressing somewhat well. I think, you know, we talk about our pyramid and how it's constructed, and and finding that sweet spot. And like, again, I absolutely love Ryan Stegman. I think he's a great artist. I just don't think it's not even the characters. It's just, it's too bright, and his artwork doesn't work when it's bright. So if we put that aside, I think McKay is finally starting to feel it out and find his legs with the story, which is like, we're dealing with these humans who are being genetically modified to trigger either a natural or unnatural mutation and turning into a mutant. So that's a big deal. And so that mystery has got me intrigued. The reason why I feel like this book is just not working for me is really the artwork. But I will say the story has taken a minute to get there, and I understand, like, you're 6 issues in, some people are like, nah, fam, I'm done. Like, I don't want to feel like I need to be obligated to buy this X-Men book just because it's technically the main X-Men title, even though Uncanny probably really deserves that title, in my opinion. So we'll see how this goes. I will say, like, every issue that we've had since issue 1 has gotten better in very small increments. So who knows? Maybe issue 6, we really get a sense of, hey, this book's actually doing something. But it still hasn't, in my opinion, really taken off.
Yeah, I'm definitely like giving it extra because it's Jed McKay, but
right.
I don't know how much extra I can give.
You're starting to teeter, and I totally don't blame you for that, like, at all. All right, that's going to do it for this week's new Comic Day video for the week of October 23rd. Let us know down in the comments, what are you picking up today? What are you going to read first? What's your potential pick of the week? Let us know. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like. It'd be much appreciated, as we're on the road to 1,250 subscribers, but we can't do it without your help and support. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that sub button, ring that bell, and most definitely give us a like. We'll catch you guys live this Sunday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, where we'll talk about all these books and more. And hopefully my internet, I can figure it out, because like, I've been running test streams and I'm still dealing with drop frames. I'm going to have to call the internet company, because like, I ran an internet speed test and it was not running at the speed that we are paying for. So I'm about to go fire somebody. Like,
oh, get him.
Oh, get him. Anyways, we'll catch you guys this Sunday. As always, fam, be kind to one another and read more comics. Later.